For some people, the outdoors is a hobby. For others, it's a lifestyle. Torque wheels are built for the ones who chase sunrise on the water, track game through the timber, and spend weekends towing boats, campers, and ATVs to the next adventure. With a full lineup of wheel sizes and fitments for trucks, SUVs, vans, trailers, and RVs, Torque wheels are made to match your lifestyle to your rig. Wherever you go, wherever you haul, go with confidence. Visit torquewheels.com to find a retailer near you.
Planning a fishing trip shouldn't feel like a full-time job. With fishingbooker.com, you can find and book the perfect fishing trip within minutes. Fishingbooker.com connects you with trusted fishing captains around the world. Booking is fast, easy, and secure, with access to verified customer reviews, loyalty rewards, and around-the-clock customer support. Everything you need to book with confidence is in one place. So head to fishingbooker.com and start planning your next fishing adventure today.
This is going to be an extremely busy month. I have to watch 104 soccer games, follow the pregame, the postgame, yell useless opinions at the TV. It's a lot. So I knew that when it comes to screening for colon cancer, the choice was clear. The Cologuard Plus test. It can be used at home and can only take 15 minutes, so I can do it during halftime and not miss any action. If you are 45 or older and at average risk, ask your healthcare provider about screening for colon cancer with the Cologuard test. You can also request a prescription at Cologuard.com.
Howdy, folks, and welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast. I'm your host, Michael. Got another good one for you today. Today we're connecting with another listener who reached out, said, I've got some stories to tell, and man, Seth killed it. He has some amazing stories from his own hunts to guiding. I'm not going to steal his thunder. Let's just kick this thing off, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Now, let's let Seth tell you some of his stories. Thank you. All right, Seth. Welcome to the Hunting Stories Podcast, sir. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I'm excited to have you here. I know it took us a little bit of back and forth to get this thing finally to happen, but here we are. And man, Seth, I'm excited to hear your stories. You gave me some teasers, and I think we have some good ones ahead of us today. So let's start with this. Outside of being a listener who reached out, by the way, thank you for doing that. Why don't you tell the folks a little bit about yourself so they know who they're hearing some stories from today?
All right. Seth Kunz. I was born and raised here in Utah. Been hunting since as long as I can remember. When I was a kid, Dad and Grandpa and Mom, that's how we got fed through the wintertime.
Yeah.
If they didn't get something, we got hungry.
Tough winter. Yeah, understandable.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't too terrible, but that was our main, not like we were starving, but that was our main source of food. So that's just kind of how it's always been, and it's always been a passion of mine.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely don't have to, like, if I don't see success, my family still eats plenty fine, but I'm trying to get to that point, right, where all the meat that we eat, we have barely bought any red meat in the last 4 to 5 years, and I'm really proud of that. So that's cool that's kind of how you were raised, is just like your family providing it to yourself. So what part of Utah, if you don't mind me asking?
Just south of Salt Lake. I was born and raised in Lehigh, just barely just south of Salt Lake. I've moved south from there. I'm in Goshen now, still Utah County, but about as far south as I can get in Utah County.
Yeah, okay. Utah has some world-class hunters. That's all I know. So, but hey, we're here to hear some stories. So if you don't want to tell anybody else or anything else about your kind of upbringing and kind of that stuff, why don't you set the stage and we'll just dive straight into it, Seth.
All right. Let's see, which one do I want to... I guess there's always the one that got away. Everybody's got that story.
Yes, sir. So I got a bunch of those stories.
Then I guess that needs to go. I need to go back on my introduction a little bit to kind of set the stage for this one.
Okay.
So when I was growing up, my grandpa guided some here in Utah before they changed all the laws as far as getting your guide license and all that. So Grandpa guided for a lot of mountain lions and a few elk and moose and some bear here and there, but his main thing was the mountain lions and hound dogs.
Okay.
And elk. He lives for elk. And so we met. He gave a couple of mountain lion hunts away every year for the, I think it was a safari club or something. Anyway, we met this guy through a lion hunt. He had bought the hunt, and we took him hunting, and he had a great time. Got him a cat. Brought his buddy back the next year. We got him a cat. Brought his wife back the next year. We got her a cat. And we kind of got to be really good friends with this guy. And
Yeah.
so then he come back, I think 2 different times, really wanting to kill him an elk with his bow, and just couldn't get it done. And then his wife drew a rifle tag for elk the same year I drew one here in Utah. And so I took her, and I just told her, I'll leave my gun in camp till we're done with yours, you know. And we ended up killing her a pretty nice bull on day 8, and there's only 10 days in the hunt. So anyway, we killed hers on day 8 and took all of day 9 packing it out with my donkeys. I've got some pack donkeys, little BLM burros. And he saw those pack donkeys and how they packed her elk out, and he was pretty impressed with it. So he told me when we got back, he told me, he says, if you'll bring those donkeys to New Mexico and call elk for me, he says, I'll pay for your tag, I'll pay for the whole trip. He says, just come hunt with me and bring those donkeys. So the next year, you know, and when you're guiding, you hear stuff like that all the time, but they don't always follow through. Well, the next year he called me and he says, "Okay, I'm putting in. I need your information." And well, we might be doing this. And sure enough, he got me my tag. He got him a tag. We went down just south. I don't even remember the units, but anyway, just south of Daddle, New Mexico, somewhere.
Okay.
And man, there's some cool elk hunting, and we got down there, and the first day it rained and rained and rained, and we hunted, I want to say 3 or 4 days. Our plan was to sit water, but when it rained forever, there was water everywhere.
Yeah.
So,
I've had that same problem antelope hunting, where I was like, I'm going to go down to this public land, I'm going to sit some water, I'm going to get it done, archery antelope, and I get down there and there's a water trough like every mile, and I'm like, well, how do I know which one? You know, like just
yeah. And he had hunted New Mexico several times, and he had always sat water. Well, there was no sitting water this time, so we started. They were bugling the one morning, and I started cow calling and kind of playing with the bulls a little bit, and I got one to a 5-point to come in, but we just couldn't get a shot.
Yeah.
And there were several different, close encounters, but you know how bow hunting elk is. We just couldn't quite get it done, and we were 3 or 4 days, 5 days in, I can't remember. And we're sitting up on this hill, and we started digging these wild onions. Made ourselves sick on wild onions. And it started to rain again, and it was just kind of a sprinkle. It wasn't real hard rain, but I had a rain poncho in my pack, and he didn't. And so we're both huddled under one rain poncho under this tree at the edge of this meadow, and trying to decide what we're going to do, and this bull starts bugling down the bottom below us. And I didn't call, I didn't respond. We were just kind of listening, trying to decide which way he was going, what we were going to do. And he didn't sound real hot. It was just a bull bugling in the rain, And the guy's name was George. I don't think I said that yet. But anyway, so George looks at me and he says, "Well, I think we need to get down to that log down there, just about 200 yards below us. There was a log, or what we thought was a log." He says, "We need to get down to that log right down there and set up in the edge of those trees." And about then that log had got up and walked away. It was a black bear had been laying down there. A color-faced black bear had been laying down there for like 2 hours the whole time we were there. Anyway, so we watched that bear walk off, and so we hurried down there, and set up in these little pine trees that, I don't know, they weren't any taller than me. You know, I'm 5'9". They might have been a few of them that were 6 foot tall.
Okay.
And there was some scrub oak that come up along the side, and we got down to there, and that bull just kept working his way up the hill, just bugling at us, and I had George right next to me, and I thought this is gonna work out. You know, this guy's coming, and pretty soon he's at like 30 yards, facing straight at us, and just rips out a bugle and screams, and now we're both amped, and but he doesn't stop. He just bugles and just keeps walking up the hill. And so George kind of steps back away from me, and I thought he was kind of going into that oak brush a little bit. And that bull comes up, and I drew my bow. He'd come behind a couple of trees, and I drew my bow, and he stepped out 10, 12 feet from me, broadside, nothing between us. And I just started seeing his nose, and I glanced over, and George was starting to draw his bow back. And now, the only time I've ever done anything with George has been guiding him on a hunt somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we're good friends, you know, we talked all the time on the phone, but it was always hunting, and it was always me taking him, trying to get him something. And now we finally got this bull in bow range, and he's in his 60s at this point, and he's never killed one with his bow.
Okay.
And this bull
ain't easy. It ain't easy.
Right? And this bull's probably, I don't want to exaggerate, probably 350 to 360-ish bull. I mean, he's a good bull.
That's a real good bull.
And so, anyway, I see George starting to draw. And I thought, I can't shoot this bull out from under him, you know. And so I let my bow down, and the bull kind of walks up. And he crosses this little opening to where his head is just past the opening. All I can see is his vitals. And he stops, and I'm watching George, and George lets his bow down. And so I drew my bow back again. And then I see George start to draw his, so I just held mine.
What are you doing, George?
Yeah, I'm like, come on, man. And so I'm just holding my bow at full draw, but I'm watching George. And I had the thought, just shoot him. Just shoot him, you know. And I thought, I can't. I'm down here on his dime. He's paid for this whole thing. The whole reason we're here was to get him an elk. And I just let my bow down, and the bull took about 2 more steps, and George went to draw back again, and the bull saw him and spun around and ran off.
My goodness, my goodness.
And he was
Did you
gone.
talk to him?
Yeah.
Did you talk to George about like what, like he was drawn and they let down and he's starting to draw? Like what was going on with him that he wasn't able to take a shot?
Yeah, I don't know. I tried to ask him. He said he thought he could get a better angle going up around those trees, but that put him directly in front of the bull, and he had a frontal shot. He was dead, like that bull was coming straight at him. Mm-hmm. And so why he let down the first time, I don't know. But I didn't have a chance to ask you much of anything when that bull took off and was gone, and I just wanted to throw up. I was just, you know, I've killed 2 or 3 spikes and several cows with my bow, but I've never killed a big bull with my bow.
Yeah, especially 350.
And
that's a monster.
That bull was, and that bull was gone, and he comes running down the hill, and I'm like, what happened? Why didn't you shoot? And he says, well, I didn't have a very good shot, and he was facing straight on. Why didn't you shoot? And I said, George, I didn't want to mess you up. Like, I wanted you to kill a bull. I didn't want to mess you up or have you feel like I shot it out from under you. And George looks at me and he goes, I don't care who you're fucking up. You get a shot at a bull like that, you take it. Sorry, man.
He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong.
Right. And anyway, so we watched that bull go, and he bugled all the way back down the canyon, and it was over. That was it. hunted 2 more days and had a couple others talk to us, but nothing that, that was our one chance, and we both blew it.
Yeah, my goodness, man.
But to this, that was in 2009, I believe.
Okay.
And to this day, like, that bull haunts me. Like, I can see it like it was yesterday.
Isn't that funny?
I mean, it was
those are the memories that stick, or like the ones that got away.
Yeah, it was a good time, and it was an awesome trip. We had a lot of fun, and it was kind of funny. Going down there, I took 2 donkeys and I just jumped them in the back of the truck with a stock rack, and I had this old beat up Ford with a little pipe stock rack I had built with 2 BLM donkeys in the back, but his wife's bull that we had killed the year before, she had a Euro mount done up here, and I took it down there with me so he could take it back home with him when he went. And going down there, I had that elk skull tied to the side of the truck. That was
the side.
And with these 2 donkeys in the pack saddles, it wouldn't fit in the back seat. I couldn't get it in the truck, and so I tied it on the side of that stock rack, and people would take pictures and thumbs up, and they thought it was pretty cool. They see this big old elk horns on there. But coming back from New Mexico, now it's just an old Ford with 2 donkeys in the back, and people are pointing and laughing. And it was a joke when there's no elk horns involved, but
yeah, that's too funny.
It was a good trip. So
you ever go out with George again, or was that the last hurrah?
No, that was. I think that was the last time I saw George. He lived in Anchorage, and then in Anchorage, Alaska, and then I think that the year after that they moved to New Mexico, and I want to say a year later he ended up passing away. He had some health problems, and
that's too bad.
Ended up passing away, and I never did get to hunt with him again. And I lost track of his wife, Mary. I don't know if she moved or what, but
yeah. I'm always curious. So he obviously had some cash, right? So he's flying, bringing you down, getting tags, getting guide and stuff. What does a guy do in Anchorage, Alaska, that he's got that kind of money? Or
he was a real estate investor, and I don't know his whole story, but this was years ago, and he was older by the time I met him. I know he was involved in a lot of commercial real estate when the whole Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae thing went crazy, but that's how he made a lot of his money.
Very cool. Well, rest in peace, George. Thank you, thank you for the story and the insight. I love him yelling at you, being like, "If you get a shot at a bull like that, you take that shot."
Yeah.
That's too funny.
To this day, I wish I would have, but
I believe it.
It was a good trip. It was a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20 though. It's easy to think about what you woulda, coulda, shoulda afterwards, right? In the moment, you were doing the right thing. Like, this guy paid for everything to come down and do all this work, and I think the last episode that I just had, a gentleman, it was his buddy's day to shoot, and he took that shot, and if it weren't for the fact that they killed another bull 5 minutes later, his buddy was like, "What is wrong with you? It can ruin some relationships shooting when it's not your turn."
And that was what I was afraid of with, I mean, George was a good guy, but you never know.
Yeah, right. So, he might just gone back to camp and stolen your donkeys. Who knows what he would have done if you had shot that thing. So it's easy for him to say you should have shot it when neither one of you did. If you had, who knows, right? We'll never know.
Yeah, exactly. So
perfect. Well, hey, that was a great story. The ones that get away are always great stories. So what else you got for us?
So I've got one.
Hey, hunters. Have you ever had one of those stories, the ones that you didn't want to tell, the ones that end in failure? Yeah, I've been there. Actually, you know what? The culprit for me usually is bad optics, or worse, lack of using my optics at all. Picture this. I spot a trophy buck, or an antelope, or an elk, whatever it may be. My heart is racing, but the blurry view, or I just can't quite identify exactly what I'm looking at, it has me second guessing. Well, that's where Vortex Optics comes in. With crystal clear glass and rugged durability, Vortex gives you the confidence to take the shot. Don't let poor optics ruin your story. Make every moment count. Upgrade to Vortex and turn your hunting tales into triumphs. Visit vortexoptics.com today.
Welcome to a new era of baseball's great spectacle, the T-Mobile Home Run Derby, live on Netflix. The biggest sluggers in baseball put their talents to the test on All-Star Weekend. Raw power meets star power. Big swagger meets bigger slams. And you don't swing to make contact. You swing to make history. Watch the T-Mobile Home Run Derby live on Netflix, Monday, July 13th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Need a laptop that's built to perform and designed to last all day? Select Windows 11 PCs starting at $499.99 are now at Best Buy. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
I've got one that's pretty controversial. I have to be careful when I tell it. I'll think about that one for a minute. I'll tell you another one. Me and my brother were on a muzzleloader deer hunt.
Okay.
Again, we packed into the high Uintas. Him and I used to pack into the Uintas all the time and mostly bow hunt. But for whatever reason, I started into the muzzleloader deer, still archery elk and muzzleloader deer, but we had packed in 7 or 8 miles into this canyon, and we each took a buddy with us, so there's 4 of us that had packed in, and my brother's buddy had knee replacement in August, and this is the last week of September. And so he rode a horse.
Doctor's orders.
He rode a horse in. The rest of us hiked, and we were trying to just put him somewhere that he didn't have to do a lot of hiking, and it just in the Uintas, the high Uintas, you're hiking. It's just the way it is. But anyway,
he in general, mule deer hunting in general, you're hiking.
Yeah, right. You got to do some hiking. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so he was hiking kind of as flat as he could, and he found this old dried up beaver pond. So it was a big, just flat meadow that was, I don't know, 3/4 of a mile wide and at least a mile long. Just a great big grassy flat. And the deer had come out into that every night. So the 4 of us set up along the old beaver dam along the edge of that meadow. And I was on one end, and then Mac was the one that had knee surgery. He was in the middle. And then my brother and my other buddy had decided to sit together on the other end. And my buddy wasn't going to shoot. He was just enjoying the trip. And so they're sitting on the far end, and we had sat there, I don't know, 2 or 3 hours. It was starting to get dark, kind of last light type deal. And we were on day, I don't know, like day 6. We only had 1 or 2 days left, and this little buck comes out, and he wasn't anything special, but it was going to be meat in the freezer. So I thought, I'll take him. Well, I shot and missed. And he turns and runs straight towards everybody else. Like he's running right down the top of this beaver dam.
Okay.
And I kept thinking, okay, Mac's gonna shoot him. And I seen him go right past where I thought Mac was sitting, and no shot. And then I couldn't see far enough to see where my brother Heath was sitting, but I heard a shot once he got out of sight, but the shot sounded like, it didn't sound like it was close by any of us. It was a really muffled type shot. It just was weird. And
yeah.
So I sat there for a little while, and I get on the radio, and I'm like, anybody see or get anything? Anybody, like, what do we
Yeah.
we ready to go back? And Heath gets on the radio, and he says, well, you could come help me clean my deer. I'm like, what do you mean clean your deer? And anyway, so we get over there. I hike over to him. And him and my buddy Doug had been sitting Doug's laying back and got his hat back down over his face, taking a nap under the tree with his feet kind of facing Heath, and Heath's laying the other way, their feet kind of towards each other. And Heath's back was to the beaver dam. They heard me shoot, and they laid there for a second, and Heath finally says, well, I guess I ought to be ready in case, if he spooked something this way, I got to be ready for it. And he kind of knelt up and turned around, and he looked around this tree that he was laying under, and he saw the doe come running, and so he picked up his muzzleloader just to have it at the ready, and as he come back around the tree to look, that buck ran right into the end of his muzzleloader.
No way.
He didn't even mean to pull the trigger. He didn't have it all the way even to his shoulder, and it ran right into his gun and tipped him backwards. That's why it was so muffled, because the gun was actually into the deer's chest when he shot.
Whoa.
And, he fell backwards, and it flipped over him and lands right at Doug's feet. And Doug still got his hat down over his face, he has no idea what just happened, other than he heard Heath shoot, and he's all, well, did you get it? And Heath goes, yeah, look at your feet, and he just kind of picks his hat up. Well, I'll be damned. Just laying right there at his feet. It was pretty wild. I wish he'd have been wearing a GoPro or something on that one. That would have been pretty fun to watch.
That's crazy. Not often you get a story where the weapon touches the animal before it goes off.
Right.
I've heard
right into him.
I've heard one other time where that happened, and it wasn't someone on the podcast. It was someone I ran into in the woods, and they said in this unit we were hunting, same unit I killed my bull in. He said there was a 450-inch bull, just like some monster. And he had put 40 cameras out there. He was trying to get a hold of him, and he called it in for his buddy, and his buddy's hiding behind this stump. But the bull comes right in, and they're archery hunting. So when his buddy finally gets out behind this stump, the bull's right there. We're talking, he's at full draw. His arrow is on the bull. That arrow isn't traveling. He says that his buddy then punched the trigger, and he's not sure exactly. But basically, if your arrow has nowhere to go, then your bow is the thing that goes. Right. So basically, the arrow didn't go anywhere, and the bow shot back at him, and then. I'm wondering if maybe he was just right on the shoulder blade or something, because I imagine that arrow had to try and go forward before it decided the bow needed to go instead. But it's crazy to just be that close to one of those animals, especially. I mean, it's just what he told me, 450-inch bull. I don't know. Yeah, I killed a big bull in that unit, and it was 310-ish, nowhere near 450.
310 is a good bull.
I'll take it.
Yeah, I think people get way too hung up on those numbers too. I mean, a 300-inch bull is a good animal,
Absolutely, and to be honest, I'll shoot any bull that walks in front of me these days. I don't care. The fact that it was a 300-inch bull, I'm ecstatic. Couldn't be more happy, because I want the meat, but I'll take the antlers for sure.
Exactly.
So
exactly, and that's what I guided in Idaho for about 4 or 5 years. And it was mainly archery elk hunts.
Okay.
We'd have 10 hunters in camp at a time, and I had 5 guides. Had 5 guides, and we'd do 2-on-1 hunts. And we killed a lot of elk, nothing huge, but that's what I'd tell guys. If he looks good, shoot him. If you don't, if you don't like it, then don't. But I wouldn't even put a tape to an animal in camp. I just numbers. If you like him, great.
Yeah,
if you don't,
100%.
And I've shot one bull, this one behind me, with my rifle.
It's a good bull. It's a real good bull.
He's 320. With my rifle, that was the last day of that hunt with George's wife. Other than that, of course, here in Utah, unless you draw something, you can only kill a spike or a cow. Yeah. And that's it. It's meat in the freezer. But
yeah,
even a spike or a cow can be pretty dang tough with the bow.
Absolutely. And they always say shoot on day one what you would shoot on the last day. And you know what? I have been on the last day of a hunt being I wish my buddy had shot that elk that he had a chance at and hadn't let that one go. I've had that thought in my head multiple times. So it really is. If you get an opportunity, especially archery hunting out west, take it.
Oh, yeah,
take
sure.
it, you know,
Sure.
unless you got 30 days to get to hike around. I typically at the most have like 7 to 10. So
I say that's me. If I'm lucky, I'll have 10 days, but
yeah,
usually
absolutely.
it's not. So
Well, let's do this, Seth. I'm gonna throw an offer out to you. So I have had people tell controversial stories. I've had people say, "Hey, can you cut that from the episode, or can you not release that episode?" Are you willing to tell me that one, and then afterwards we can decide together on whether or not you want to keep it in the episode?
Yeah, I think we can keep it in the episode. I'll just have to be careful. I work for.
Don't even say it. Don't even say it.
Well, I work for a municipality. I work for
Okay.
a city. And everyone involved ended up working for the same city.
Okay.
The people that know me and hear this, they'll all know exactly what's. Anyway, so I have never killed a big buck, a big mule deer. I've killed a lot of mule deer, but I mean I killed one. He's a 4x4, 25 inches wide. He might go 120 maybe.
Okay.
That's my biggest buck, you know. But again, we'd put meat in the freezer. And I started this new job, and I met a couple of guys, and the one guy, he's known for killing big deer. Like he kills.
Okay.
If it ain't 30 inches, he ain't shooting, and he kills a lot of big bucks. And he invited me to go with him, told me to take me into his super secret honey hole, whatever.
Uh-oh.
If I kept my mouth shut, you know, I could.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I want to kill a big buck. And I can respect somebody's spot, you know. So he says, well, we got to ride the horses in, we got to pack in, but there's no water there. He says, sometimes the horses will go 3 or 4 days without water. I'm like, I just don't know if I can do that to my horses, you know. So we spent some time in the summer and tried to pack water in and get things set up so I'd have water for the horses. And anyway, we spent all summer long, and he had a spot that he camped, but man, this guy would rough it. Like,
Okay.
and he's tough. I mean, going in there, he had more than once he woke up with his tent collapsed with snow on it and shake the snow off and keep hunting and not sure how he's going to get out, but we'll deal with that later because there's deer to kill type, you know.
Yeah.
And so we got in there and the night before that opened and set up camp and decided to go out and glass, and we glassed, I don't know, 6 or 8 different bucks that were 2 of them were 30-inch bucks.
Okay.
But most of them were 150 or bigger bucks. Like, there were some nice bucks. And right before dark, well, while we're sitting there glassing, I had told him, I'm like, you know, he asked me, he says, why haven't you killed any bigger bucks? Like, I know you've helped a lot of people kill a lot of big things.
Yeah.
And I know you've guided and all, you know, like, but you've never killed anything, anything big. And I says, well, if it weren't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. That's just how it rolls. And I accepted it, and I'm here to have fun. If I kill something nice, great. But bottom line is I need meat in the freezer. So anyway, while we're standing there, and I just got through telling him if it weren't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any, we hear this hound dog start baying, like down in the bottom of the canyon.
Gotta be kidding me.
I'm like, that's kind of odd, you know, just a single hound dog. And this dog comes running right up the canyon, and he runs every deer over the mountain. We watched him, and he chased a deer up over the mountain and to where you couldn't hear him barking anymore. And then he'd come back, and he'd find another deer, and he'd chase it over. He emptied that whole place we'd been looking at.
You do have bad luck, dude. That's timing, if anything.
Like,
it's
that
comedic.
Dude is lucky I left my rifle at camp, because I would be shooting a dog right now. Like, I was mad. And he run every deer out of that canyon, and I'm thinking, well, now what are we gonna do, you know? And this guy I was with, he kept telling me, oh, it's all right, it's all right, they'll be back, you know. They may not be here tomorrow, but they'll be back. And meanwhile, this dog is still running around and round and round and barking. And then I went back to my days guiding with Grandpa, and I thought, I can get rid of that dog. So I started howling and barking like a dog and like a treed hound. And sure enough, he come right to us. So when I started howling like a hound that's got something in the tree, that hound come right to us. And I was just going to kill him. Like, I was not happy. And then my buddy's like, no, we can't. He had a tracking collar on, and my buddy's like, no, let's take him down. We'll just tie him up. You know, he said, I'll hike back down closer to the main road, down the main trail. And I'll just tie him up down there, and the owner can come find him with that tracking collar. So he spent half the night hiking back down the mountain to tie this dog up. And I come back up, or he come back up, and we got up in the morning and went out there. Very first light, there's a buck standing out there, like that dog had never been there. And he was the biggest buck I've ever shot at. Now, I won't say the biggest buck I've ever seen, but he's the biggest buck I've ever shot at. He was a nice 28-inch 4x4. Like, I've heard rumor that he ended up going 150. 150.
That'd be a big old mule deer.
Right. No, I heard rumor he ended up going about 150-ish.
Okay.
I don't know for sure. So my buddy's like, well, it's a pretty nice buck. I'm like, well, he's bigger than anything I've ever killed. I said, I'll take him. He said, well, if you want him, shoot him, you know. And it's about 600 yards across. I mean, it's a pretty good poke across there. And then for me, this little fat guy, to get across there after I shoot, you know, it's a canyon. It's way down and way back up. And so I shot, and he jumped and kicked. We couldn't quite tell how good the hit was, but we thought I hit him. And he's run over 2 or 3 steps, and he stopped. And so I shot again, and I clean miss on that one. And so I shot a third one, and the third one, man, I punched him perfect, right in the crease behind the shoulder, and he about tipped over, and then he turns and he runs down 3 or 4 steps, and he stood there for a second, and I went to put another one in him, and then he kind of turned and walked out into the brush and laid down. He didn't like tip over and die, but he laid down.
Yeah.
And you could just see his head and horns above the brush. And I'm like, all right, let's just give him some time. He'll die. And we're sitting there, and about then, this hunter above the hill just shows up out of nowhere. Just out of nowhere. And I'm like, where'd he come from? My buddy's like, I don't know. I thought we was up here by ourselves. Like, I've never seen anybody in here before.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, we got company. Somebody's here, you know. And so we're kind of watching my deer, and we're watching this guy. And this guy's watching across there. And at that point, that's the only deer we had seen that morning. And he's watching across there like he's watching something. And I'm like, I don't see anything else for him to be watching.
Yeah. Where is he relative to you? You said he popped up over the hill.
So,
was he on the same hillside or the opposite?
So it's kind of on the peak, the drainage coming off the peak, and I'm shooting across the drainage this way, and we're probably, I don't know, 900 yards from the peak, kind of down on the ridge top, you know.
Yeah.
And he shows up above us, between us and the top of the ridge. And it kind of goes around in a big basin and then comes down across, and I was shooting across. And this guy's up above us, and he starts working around that basin at the top. And I was like, I think I better get over there and finish my deer off before that guy goes over there. I says, that'd sure suck if he goes over there and shoots my deer. Because we can see he's still not dead yet, but he's laying in bed. He's not going anywhere, you know. We're just waiting for him to tip over. And I says, maybe I better get over there before he shoots my deer. And my buddy's like, yeah, you head over there. I'll keep an eye on him. And so I'm hiking as fast and as hard as I can, but it's steep and it's thick. And I get a little ways. And we did have cell service up there. My buddy calls me and he's like, hey, he calls me on the phone. He says, there's like 10 more bucks that just came over the hill.
No shit.
I'm like, okay. Doesn't do, like, let me just get my deer. Like, he didn't have a tag. He didn't have a gun with him. I had the gun with me. Like, that's cool. You're seeing more deer. But I'm about to pass out here. Let me just get up the mountain.
Don't got extra breath to be talking right now.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. And he calls me back like 5 minutes later. He's like, man, that one's a nice buck. It's a big buck. I'm like, okay, but it does me no good. Like, that's cool. Watch him, I guess. And I hang up the phone, and then I hear that guy shoot. A couple of minutes after that, I hear him shoot. And I thought, well, good. He got distracted with those other bucks. Like, he can chase them. I don't have to worry quite so much about mine.
Yeah.
And so I keep going, and a couple minutes after that guy shoots, my buddy calls me on the phone. He's like, I don't know which buck he was shooting at, but he missed. Like, all of those bucks went over the hill, and none of them looked like they were hit. And I'm like, okay. And he says, but he shot, and then he jumped up, grabbed all his stuff, and then ran back in the timber. Like, it was really weird. And again, I'm like, just let me get up the hill to my deer, and we can discuss all this later. Like,
yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, okay, yeah. So I keep hiking up. Now I've made it down, and I'm 3/4 of the way up to where my deer was, and he calls me again, and I almost didn't answer it. I'm just like, holy shit, man. And so I finally dug my phone back out. I'm like, what? And he says, you better hurry and get up to your deer. That guy's like walking straight towards your deer. And I'm like, well, I could hurry if you'd quit calling me. Like, let me get up there. And so he's like, I don't know if he's headed for your deer or not, but he's going that direction. Just hurry and get up there. I'm like, dude, I'm trying. And so I get up there, and I'm just kind of coming over the crest of the roll of the hill where I think I should start to see the deer. And there's two guys standing there.
Oh, no.
And I realize one of them's hunched over, and he's gotten a deer. And I'm like, they're on my deer.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, I'll go see what's going on. Go talk to these guys. And I go walking up there, and as soon as I kind of crested a little higher where they could see me, the one that was standing there holding a leg, he taps the other guy on the shoulder, points at me, and like that guy all of a sudden quits cleaning the deer, and he starts rummaging in his pack, and he pulls his tag out, and he hurries and cuts his tag and notches his tag and puts it on the deer, and then goes back to cleaning it. And I'm like, it's just odd. Like, it's just weird, And so I go walking up there. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, well, I'm cleaning my deer. I said, you sure that's your deer? He says, oh yeah, very much alive when I shot him. He was very much alive. I'm like, it couldn't have been very much alive because he'd been laying here for about an hour before you shot him.
Yeah.
He says, oh no, he was very much alive. I says, well, pretty sure that's the one I shot. He's like, oh no. And I says, yeah. And I pointed up the hill behind him. I says, he was standing right by those rocks when I shot him. Well, he was over here the first time. Then he stopped by those rocks, and that's when I know I hit him good. And he run down by that tree, and then he come over to right here, and he laid down. And that's when I headed over here. The guy's like, oh no, he was very much alive when I shot him. And I'm like, I just don't think so.
Yeah.
He says, where'd you shoot him? And he says, well, I shot him in the neck. I'm like, okay, well, I know where I hit him, so keep cleaning and we'll see how many bullets are in him. And I walked up behind him by those rocks where I told him he was standing, and I says, well, I got a blood trail right here.
When it's time to scale your business, it's time for Shopify. Get everything you need to grow the way you want, like all the way. Stack more sales with the best converting checkout on the planet. Track your cha-chings from every channel, right in one spot. And turn real-time reporting into big-time opportunities. Take your business to a whole new level. Switch to Shopify. Start your free trial today.
¿Qué hule? ¿Me extrañaron? Aquí tienen a Aurelio.
Esta es la saga más famosa de la televisión hispana.
Soy indestructible, imparable.
Y su banda sonora se escribe con balas.
Me gusta que te vean, que te aplaudan. Y eso está bien. Alguien tiene que ser el payaso. Pero cuando falles, que vas a fallar, no va a haber segunda vuelta.
Hoy vas a pagar con sangre. El Señor de los Cielos. Temporada final. Martes 7 de julio a las 9:08 Centro por Telemundo y Peacock.
Hey parents, how do you make smarter choices for your kids' college today? That's where Sally can help. With Sally, you can find scholarships, funding options, tools, and guidance all in one place. And if you need a loan, Sally has options for different families and different situations. College is only worth it if you do it right. So don't just help your kid go. Help them go smarter. Sally.com/GoParents.
And I followed the blood down to the tree that I had pointed at, and then from there straight to the deer. I said, how do you explain that blood trail if it's not the deer I shot?
Yeah.
Oh, because he kept telling me, well, I think your deer was down lower. He says, I heard your bullet hit, but I think your deer was down lower. And I'm like, how do you explain this blood trail, and how did I know where that blood trail was when I hadn't even got up there yet, past you, if that's not my deer? And he's like, well, I don't know, but he was very much alive when I shot him. I'm just like, whatever, man. So I sat there trying to decide what to do. It's a good thing my buddy didn't have a gun, okay? He'd have been throwing rounds already.
Yeah.
And yeah, he was irate. And I'm like, I'm like, well, we'll keep cleaning him and we'll see. So he pulls everything out and the lung's destroyed. And I says, you say you shot him in the neck? And he says, yeah. I says, then how come that there's nothing left of that lung if I didn't shoot this deer? He's like, well, the angle I was at, it would have went through his neck and then down into his lungs. And I'm like,
That sucks.
I'm like, I don't think so. And anyway, so he pulls it out and then he starts skinning it. And I'm sitting there stewing like, how bad do I want to fight for this buck? Like, do I really want to get into this with this guy? And the guy looks up at me and he says, well, you're Seth, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah. He says, yeah, that's what I thought. I work for the same place you do. I'm like, what? He says, yeah, you were the inspector on my uncle's project, and I helped my uncle on his project, and I work for the same place you do, just a different department.
Okay. And
I'm like, well, I don't remember ever seeing you, or like I'd never met this guy, but he knew exactly who I was. And so now I'm like, now do I really push the issue, or how ugly is this going to get?
Yeah.
And I just decided it's opening day. I looked at bigger bucks the night before. I'm like, you know what? I says, if you're happy, if you can take this buck home and hang him on your wall, knowing full well what happened up here and who killed that deer, I guess you can have him. And he goes, oh yeah, I'm good with it. I know. He was very much alive when I shot him. I'm like, oh,
These younger guys, or how do they age out compared to you?
They're younger. They're, I don't know how many years younger than me, but at least 6 or 8 years younger than I am.
Okay.
They're late 20s, maybe early 30s.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's the law in Utah? And the reason I ask,
I didn't know at the time. So I'll get to that.
Okay. All right. I'm jumping ahead. Go continue.
Yeah, you're good. So I'm like, all right, well, you can have it. And by now my buddy has called me a dozen times.
Yeah.
Just start throwing hands. Just kick them off the mountain. And I'm like, dude, easy for you to say. There's 2 of them and 1 of me. I'm winded and out of shape. These 2 are both way more fit than I am. Like, anyway, I told the kid, I'm like, you can have him. You know, there's not a deer on this mountain worth going to fists over.
Yeah.
I says, the good thing about this is you guys have to pack that thing out, not me. And about then he goes, are you shooting green ballistic tips? And I says, yeah. And he's like, oh, here's your bullet. And he throws it down the hill. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, he just pulled my bullet out of the deer now. But he's still claiming he killed the deer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fine, I've had enough. I'm out. I'm gone. So I headed back down the mountain. Well, now my buddy's calling me, you know, and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, dude, I'm not going to fight him. And I tell him who it is, and he knows exactly who it is. He knew him from before we all worked at the same place. And he knew they worked at the same place.
Yeah.
So then I get down to him. By the time I get back to him, he's already called his other buddies back at work and told them all what a piece of shit this guy is and that he's stolen my deer.
Damn.
Like, our whole workplace already knows the whole story before I even get hiked back down to him.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my wife, I when I hit the deer and we watched him bed down, I called my wife and I'm like, I think I'll come home early. Like, I got him down. I just got to go get him. Now I got to call my wife and tell her, no, I didn't get him. Like, and so I'd kind of tell her what's going on. And she's like, what's his name? I'll crucify this guy on Facebook.
Yeah, that a girl.
You won't. I'm like, no, you won't. We all have to work to the same place. Like, you just be nice. Don't say a word. Just, this thing will work itself out, you know?
Yeah.
So anyway, they packed it off the mountain. I went back to camp. We recouped. And then my buddy had to leave, so I was up there by myself for the next 6 days. And I ended up killing a little 2x3 that was 23-inch 2x3. The last day, just take something home. And so now I get home and I get back to work and this whole place is buzzing. Like,
oh man,
everybody wants to hear my side of the story. And this guy had already gone back to work and he took the horns in to show everybody and they're all harassing him about stealing my deer and like it was a huge deal. Well, at work they were doing a hat contest. They do one every year. Everybody could design their own. Yeah, like a ball cap. You do a ball cap design for the place we work, and everybody throws in their design or whatever, whoever wants to participate, and then everybody votes on it, and whoever wins, that's the ball cap we make that year for everybody.
Okay.
And just so happens, this kid had the winning design on the ball caps at the moment. Well, some of the guys realized this, and they sent out an email, you know, cast your last vote, the last chance to vote on this hat contest, whatever. And then we're gonna close it. And they sent us out company-wide. Well, one of the guys responded he had voted for that ball cap, but then realized who it was. So he emailed him back to change his vote. But instead of replying back to
he replied
management, he replied all. I want to change my vote because this guy, well, it went out to everyone.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other
What's
guys.
what's the head count, ballpark head count of everybody?
200 people, maybe.
Okay.
Well, probably close to 100 at least.
Okay.
Yeah. And so, anyway, 3 or 4 others jump on board, and they're like, "Yeah, I want to change my vote. I ain't gonna take that guy's hat." Blah blah. And it just, this thing won't die. It won't go away. And I tried to not say a word. I got back to work, never said a word. And finally, this guy's supervisor called me. He's like, "Look, I've heard his side of the story. I need to hear your side of the story. And I need to know what we can do or how we're going to deal with this, because it's starting to, like, drive a wedge through this place."
Yeah, that's crazy. Okay.
And I'm like, well, I'm not driving any wedges. I don't want any problems. I just want it to go away. And he says, "Well, I appreciate that." He's like, "But it's not just you two involved anymore."
Yeah.
And so I give him my side of the story, and he never told me the other kid's side, or what he had said. And anyway, it finally started to die down after we all said, "Let it die," But those of us involved had to kind of be the ones to tell everyone, just let it go,
Yeah.
Anyway, so I heard rumor that buck ended up going, it was somewhere in the 150s.
Okay.
But fast forward to this year.
How many years ago was that? 3 years. Okay.
I guess it would have been, it would have been in 23 or 24.
Okay.
It would have been 23, because last year's hunt was 25. Yeah, there was 1 year in between. So I go on the mountain this past year on another muzzleloader deer hunt. Totally different mountain, totally different place. But I guess yeah. So we find this buck. We haven't done any scouting or anything. Just me and my wife, and my boy. And we find this buck, and I told my wife, I'm like, if that thing's an inch, he is 30 inches. Like, well over 30 inches wide. As that is one of the biggest bucks I've seen. He is a nice, just typical 4x4, big long eye guards, beautiful buck. And we spent 4 days, like, trying to figure this buck out. Finally got it figured out. Me and my boy hike in there, and I'm like, I know he's coming up this ridge. He's going to come right through this grove. And we're perfect. Like, if he does what he's done the last 4 days in a row, we're going to kill him this morning. And we see him come into the bottom of this grove of aspen trees. All he's got to do is come another 100 yards up the hill through those trees where we can see him. And all of a sudden I hear kaboom right in those trees below us. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, and my boy goes, well, maybe he missed. And then we hear, yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. I'm like, that's not from a miss. Like, that's not from a miss. And so I went over and I'm looking down the hill. I couldn't tell where they were at. But so my boy's just like, I got to go home today. Like, one of the smaller bucks that was with him come up around, and my boy shot that one. And so we took some pictures and sent them back to my wife at camp and told her, bring the donkeys down, we can get this thing out of here. And we got him all quartered up and ready to pack out, and decided, let's go hike out and help Mom with the donkeys. She's coming in by herself with a string of donkeys. So we'll go help her get the donkeys in here. And on our way out, we run into this. It's a 15-year-old kid.
Yeah.
And I'll send you a picture of this buck. He ended up being 34 inches wide. He's got a kicker on both sides, a matching kicker on both sides. And just a gorgeous buck. And so I got back to work, and all the guys are, any luck? Did you kill anything? And I was like, well, no. And the guy that had taken this other buck from me, his little brother works on the same crew as me. And while he's sitting there, I said, well, at least this one got stolen from me before I put a bullet in it. About the time I said it, I'm like, oh, you're an idiot. Like, I finally got this thing to die and go away. And that's the first time since it happened that I had said anything like, and it was in a joking way. Yeah. He took it good, but I'm like, where did that come from?
That's too funny.
But
so
anyway.
I don't want to get ahead of things. Anything else you want to add to the story? Otherwise, I would love to hear in Utah, like legally,
the law.
How's that work?
What the law was.
Yeah.
So when I got back, everybody was dying of thirst, and my cup's empty.
Get chatting, man. The mouth gets a little dry. I get it.
I got back, and everybody kept telling me I should call the law on them. It's my deer, and blah, blah, blah. And so I did call the DNR, and I'm like, what are the laws on this? And he says, well, the way we look at it is the last bullet in the deer, or in the animal, whatever deer it is their animal.
Yeah.
He says, unless you've got phone scope footage or whatever, and you can prove that animal was dead before they shot it, then we'll say we'll side with you. It's your deer. He says, but it's not up to them to prove it was alive when they shot it. It's up to you to prove you had already killed it before they shot it.
Got it.
And
okay.
So
I think that's the common around the world. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I've heard
Cody,
a couple of other stories.
Yeah, Cody Rich out there in Oregon, he says that people out there in Oregon will wait for a shot and then just go shoot a dead one, and you got to prove it. So if you can't do it, they just take yours out from under you. And I think he said that happened to him 2 or 3 times, which is crazy to me. And then, of course, I got my story with my brother-in-law and I shooting the same one. But I didn't know any. In retrospect, that's my bull, according to every state's law, because it was still on its feet, man. But it is what it is. I cherish that experience, so I'm not concerned about who got the rack. We split the meat.
And that's kind of another. Yours is kind of a different scenario too. And I mean, you guys could have decided to fight over that bull, and now there's family problems forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a whole nother situation. But anyway, you guys handled it pretty good. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was my second year ever hunting. Like, I didn't know any better. I was just happy to lay hands on an elk. Like, it didn't matter who shot it. I was like, look at this creature. Exactly. This is amazing.
Yeah, and that's my thing. And that's why I enjoy guiding so much. I have just as much fun watching you kill it as me.
Yeah.
And if I let you do it, you got to go home and take care of it. I can go hunting again tomorrow.
Yeah. Absolutely. Plus, the one I shot 3 years ago with my bow, which is harder to do, is bigger. So in your face, brother-in-law.
There you go.
And I didn't have to share any of that meat with him because I did it without him. But man, Seth, this was great, man. I don't know if you have more stories, but I asked it for about an hour of your time. That's about how much we've taken, sir. So why don't we wrap it up here? Do you want to share anything, any ways people could follow you or anything? Or are you going to walk off into the sunset?
I don't really have much for social media.
Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I'd get rid of it if it weren't for how I get a hold of people on this podcast.
Right. Well, that's how I found it. So.
Yeah. Well, Seth, thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate it. This was a ton of fun. I'd love to have you back on because I have a feeling you have some more stories for us.
Oh, I got lots more.
All right. Sir, well, thank you again. And to listeners, thank you guys for tuning in. Seth, this was I say this all the time, but this is exactly the kind of stuff I love hearing. The one that got away, just drama. You knocked it out of the park, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. We'll see you.
All right, guys. That's it. Another couple stories in the books. Again, I want to say thank you very much for tuning in. I really do appreciate you guys. If you haven't already, give us a follow on Instagram and whatever you're listening to right now. Subscribe, follow, whatever, all the buttons you're supposed to press. Do that stuff. Help us grow the show, get more people aware. Share it with one person. And if you've got a story to tell, hit me up. Let's have you on. Thank you guys so much. Now get out there and make some stories of your own.